Hi, my name is Quanasia. Welcome to my book corner where I talk to you about books or series that I recently read. This series is called Wasn't Supposed to Be Yours, 1, 2, and 3 by Dionne D. Johnson. I've read a couple of her other books before, and I think I've done reviews here on this channel. Now, it is recommended that you go read Free From You series first and then come to this series. Why? Because in the book, it mentions the female main character, Dionne, being shot, and that is in the Free From You book. Also, is a couple of other, I think Tommy, who is Dionne's younger sister, the whole her having 2 kids and shit, that's also in the Free From You series. Okay, I don't know if this is taking place like years after that series. I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't do that research. Okay, anyways, okay, we gonna get into the characters' names. Female main characters' names. Well, the female characters of this book, this series, main character is Dionne. She's the oldest of 4 girls. She has sisters named Free, Tommy, and Nivea passed. That is mentioned, I think, in Free From You of how she passed that series. So go ahead and read that. Dionne likes older men, and that bites her in the ass because she was messing with this nigga that had a wife, and that wife came back, shot her ass 3 times in the chest, and she almost died. And I hope she learned her lesson. Do I feel bad for Miss Girl? I don't. Stop fucking with married men. What Nene said, keep your legs close to married men, period. Anyways, she was known in the family to be the bougie sister because she liked finer things, and I don't understand why black people look down on other black people that like to have the nicer things. They don't want to live in the ghetto all the time, all their life. Hello. Anyways, she's in Milan at the beginning of the book because she wants to open up her own luxury line of comforters and shit. Okay, she comes back, everybody's like, oh, Dionne's back, blah 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 blah, right? She was introduced to this man named Tank. Tank knows June. June is married to Free, okay, which is the younger sister, remember? And she didn't like Tank because he's 2 years younger than her, and she likes older men. Like I just said, she likes older men with a lot of money, and she didn't think he had a lot of money, and he wasn't older. Well, eventually she gives him a chance, and they start fucking. Okay, they start liking each other real bad. It's mentioned that she was SA'd when she was 11 years old. Her mama was drunk. She was dating this guy. She never brought this guy around the kids before the mama got drunk. He put the mama to bed and came in and touched on her, right? Boom, we in book 2. Now, I'm not saying everything that happened in book 1 because I want y'all to go read it if you have not read it. Now, in book 2, she is now moving as 11-year-old Dionne and not 35-year-old or 38-year-old Dionne. Wait, how old is this heifer? Is she 35? And I think he's 30. Any fucking way, this bitch is in her 30s, okay? She's not operating as her adult Dionne. She's operating as baby girl Dionne because her man Tank goes to and take her to go see his mama, right? And in the midst of her looking through his baby pictures, she happens to see his daddy. And who is his daddy? His daddy is the nigga that the mama was dating that raped her. Okay, so she goes into a little, she has a panic attack. She explains to him what's going on. He's like, what the fuck? He's a little bit, not really feeling it, not feeling her, but he's upset about his father because he's heard whisperings of his father liking little girls, right? So he's upset about that because he didn't want that to be the woman that he's falling in love with. He really loved her. And she's starts spiraling. Why? Because she never told anybody. She didn't even tell her own mama, nobody, right? Speaking of Tank got a cousin named Rico. A nephew named Rico. Rico is on some dumb shit, and I had to keep scrolling past his chapters because I really just didn't have the energy for that bullshit, okay? Just, why y'all niggas always gotta do next shit? Why y'all can't just chill the fuck out? Especially if you're an athlete and you're about to go off into the big leagues. Like, why do y'all always do dumb shit? But that's neither here nor fucking there. I passed by his shit. By the way, Rico has a child with some heifer that don't really fuck with him, trying to fuck with him or whatever. He's supposed to be going off to the NFL or some shit. He's doing real good in his college football, and he done off somebody, and so in front of one of his high school friends that wasn't shit, and the high school friend is now making him do betting and forcing him to play his games certain ways so that they can win their money. He eventually gets caught because that ancient ass nigga turned it into his school or whoever, the league or whatever, and they suspended him or cut him off. Basically, they told him he had to go because gambling, they ain't into that shit, right? So he was upset about that. He ends up going and offing the nigga in front of his child, and he almost got in trouble for that, but yeah, that didn't happen. Anyways, in the second book or the first book, Dionne, she's again dating Tank, and the nigga that had the wife, his name was Garrus or whatever, we gonna call him Gary. Gary was mad that she got a new man, so he goes and gets her dog from the sitter, and he asked his cousin to do this, by the way. They were supposed to kidnap the dog and get the dog back, but it didn't happen. The cousin decides to kill the dog instead and send the picture to Miss Girl. She goes off the hand. She's already stressed the fuck out because now she had to tell somebody about, her being assaulted as a child and it being her significant other's father. She eventually tells her mother. Her mother is like, "Ah, shit, like, I never brought men around and this happened on my watch," and she feels super guilty. She's depressed and carrying on, and them two are the only two that knows within that family, right? Book 3, the mom ends up telling this, the other sister finds out, I think, and then because the mom tells the other sister, I think she told Tommy in book 2, but in book 3 the mom ends up telling Free and the grandmother cussed her to clean out because it was like, where the fuck was you at whilst your child was getting assaulted, bitch? Because apparently in the Free From You series, the mama wasn't shit, and she became shit after the youngest daughter, Nivea's father, threatened to get full custody. She decided to get her shit together. So there's that. Oh, in the first book, Dionne's daddy was in prison. He was in prison for 37 years. His name was Dionne, and he in the third book officially gets out, or was it the second book? One of them, he officially gets out, and he starts becoming a painter and all this and that. Gary's now that Dionne has her own like warehouse for her stuff, Gary's son came to off Dionne because his mother was in prison for attempted murder and decided to off herself. Meanwhile, she called Dionne first before she killed herself, which is crazy to tell her, like, it wasn't your fault, it was that nigga. I made vows with him, not you. And the son was coming there to off her because he felt like it was her fault for off him. And then Gary goes to the wife's funeral and wasn't understanding why the son wanted to kill him, like, and tell him to get the fuck out the funeral. Hello, sir. You are the reason why his mama was 1 in prison and 2 dead. Hello. Because of your bullshit. For Tank's birthday, Tank asked Dionne to marry him. They get engaged. She's pregnant by this time. She finds out she was pregnant in the second book because he already knew he was gonna get her pregnant. The third book, she finds out the second one she knew she was pregnant. Third book, she's a little bit more along. They tell people at her gender reveal that they're actually married. They got married a long time ago, and then they actually have the actual wedding. Again, I was passing by Rico shit, but I think he did end up getting drafted. They allowed him to come back in, and then they drafted him. The Patriots drafted him, and I don't know if he got along with his baby mama or something because I was passing by his shit. I'm sorry. I was over him. And that was the book. They got married, and and then that wasn't the book actually. She had a water birth, and the baby came out looking just like Tank with her eyes. And then 2 months later, when the baby was 2 months, she was learning how to ride a horse. And her mother and her father are back together. He got out of prison, was back with his lady, and he's trying to convince his lady to have a child. Y'all both are in your 50s. Sit the fuck down. The fuck is you talking about? You want a baby? And nigga, if you don't get a fucking cat or a dog, what are you talking about? But that is the series. none the least. I wanted to not put too much in it, too many details, but enough details to get you a little bit enough interested in the series. Again, go read Free From You. I think I'm gonna have to read Free From You too. I don't know if I'm really into it, but I think I'm gonna have to get into it and read it, because a lot of things happen in that book that they mentioned in this one. I mean, in that series that they mentioned in this series. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, if you read this book or series before, comment down below. And if you haven't read it and you decided to go read it, please come back and tell me what you thought of it. I do have I was about to say I do have a YouTube channel, but we're on YouTube. If you could like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I enjoyed the series. I don't think I mentioned it. I enjoyed it. It was a good series. Again, I passed by Rico shit because that was going to piss me off already. It was nonsense. Anyways, y'all, like I said, go ahead and read this series and come back to what you think of it. Okay, bye.